Hey guys, there's a lot of stuff in this video, so if you're interested, just click on the link below. You can get the show notes to help you during your process. Hey guys, it's Ken. So there's one thing you must do before you start next year. So there are two types of people: the people that let things happen to them and those that make things happen for themselves. Those that let things happen don't follow through on their goals if they even have any. They don't take responsibility for their health, their finances, their relationships, their investments, or anything really. Those that make things happen take responsibility for all of those things that happen. The main thing that sets these two kinds of people apart are making goals and, most importantly, following through with them. Every new year, we always make resolutions, but instead of that, this year, I want you to make one decision. Not 10 decisions, not even 3 decisions, just one decision that you are going to change or accomplish in 2021. This is something that you are going to do, not something that you are going to try to do. Remember, once this decision is made, it is non-negotiable. So each and every year in my company, we do both personal goals and business goals. So on the business side of things, one of the things we do at MC Companies and at kenmcelroy.com is we follow EOS, or Entrepreneur Operating System. This system makes everyone in the company march the same direction. We all have quarterly goals, annual goals, 3-year goals, and 5-year goals. But most importantly, everyone on the team knows exactly where the company's going at all times. So now that you've decided on your one decision, you need to break that down into 3 to 5 smaller steps. In EOS, we call those milestones. So you need to take the one big decision and break them down into just 3 to 5 smaller steps so that you can feel the accomplishment when you get to those and it's not so overwhelming. So let me tell you a little story about how I did this personally. So in 2015 and in 2018, I decided that I was going to take my teenage sons to climb Kilimanjaro. I had never climbed a mountain before. I didn't know who to call. I didn't know what to do. But all I knew is that I wanted to take my kids on this journey. So my one big decision was to climb Kilimanjaro. What I had to do was learn how to buy gear. I had to learn how to get in shape. I had to learn how to find the team. I had to learn how to get the money to pay for it. Those were all the 3 to 5 steps that I had to do to accomplish to get there. And I was successful in climbing it both times with both kids. That's what I mean by making one big decision and breaking it down into smaller steps. I see this all the time. People pick something to change and they make no progress on it because they haven't broken it down into these smaller tasks. The small tasks are what are going to help you get to your goal. So you have to have these articulated and listed. So let's do another example. If your goal is to buy your first rental property in 2021, what are some of the things that you can do right now in order to get there? Most of you are going to start making excuses. You don't have the time and you don't have the money. Well, you're not unique in that kind of thinking because we all start there, especially when you don't have any money and you feel like you don't have the time. One idea that you might want to consider is, how do I find one rental property that cash flows? So now your goal is to find one real estate project that cash flows. So if you're like most people, you're not going to know the people, you're not going to have the money, you're not going to have the time, you don't know where to look, you don't know what submarket, you don't know the property management, you don't know how to get a loan. Those are all things that I had too. So now let's make this manageable. Let's go back to those 3 to 5 milestones so that you can knock down each one and make the overall goal achievable. So the obvious first one is to find a real estate deal that cash flows. But then now, how do you buy it? So the first thing that you need to do is know how to be able to run the numbers. Do the numbers make sense? Okay, so that's number one. That should be your first milestone. If you don't know how to run numbers on a real estate deal, then how are you going to attract the money and how are you going to attract the investors to buy it? So that should be one milestone. I can assure you that this is going to be the most frustrating part. You need to look at multiple deals generally to find one that cash flows. And hopefully when you do find one that cash flows, you're very excited because they're not easy to find. The next milestone is to take that deal and send it around to multiple people that understand real estate so that they can help you understand what you might not be seeing at that very moment. Once those first 2 milestones are done, then now you go find the money. Finding investors is a lot easier than you might think because most investors do not look at cash flowing deals. And if you can bring them a cash flowing deal, then now you're going to get another education on taking a look at a deal the way the investor looks at it. All this up to this point is just time and experience. And you're going to learn a lot. And you've only gone through now 3 milestones. Now you can go to the 4th step or the 4th milestone, which is make the offer based on the numbers. Because now you can go in there with a little bit of confidence because now you've had a bunch of people look at it and now you have the investors look at it. And now you know that you have a deal that maybe you can participate in, not just on a commission, but on the ownership side using OPM or other people's money. Now, for the very last step or the 5th milestone, all you have to do is put all the pieces together and close the deal, which includes finding the management, which could be yourself. So that's how you make one big decision, break it up into 5 milestones for one big goal. So if you just sat there and said, I want to buy a rental in 2021, you probably wouldn't get anywhere. But by breaking down your goals and putting timelines on each step, you are far more likely to reach it. You now have your decision for 2021 and the tasks that you need in order to get that decision accomplished. The next step is to make sure it is smart. And what do I mean by smart? S stands for specific. Is your decision clear? M is measurable. At the end of the year, can you say, yes, I did this or did not accomplish this? A is for achievable. Can you make this decision happen? R is relevant. Does this make sense for your life? Most likely it does if it's your goal for 2021. And T is time. Does your goal and the steps needed to get there have a completion date attached? This one is really important and a lot of times overlooked. You need to have completion dates for each step written down in order to know if you are on track or off track throughout the year in you meeting your goal. So to recap, once you have your decision for the year, break it down into steps or milestones and make sure it is set up as a SMART goal. Then you are ready to rock. Make this be the year that you turn into someone that makes things happen for themselves and stops being the person that is letting life happen to them. Good luck and never stop learning.